pick up my bags, I be free at last. Don't wanna hear another word from my bum past. I graduate to know what's fate and what's a fantasy line. I done walked the wrong path maybe a couple of times. Stepping through, I hope to see windows and green leaves. Freedom of speech, sunshine, rhythm up under my feet. Is it a dream? I check the clock for times like this. People around you can't understand what it means to exist, so make up.
All right, welcome to another episode of Beyond the Book, a podcast that jumps into the stories of expert individuals in their respective fields, from the world of academia, medicine and health, artistry, entertainment, business, and beyond. We hope you enjoy each guest who courageously opens up chapters for us to view. Maybe their wisdom, lesson, or experience can provide some perspective upon your own story as we all look to soar across the pages of life. Before I introduce our next guest, please hit the like button on our YouTube video, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're watching us on Instagram or Reels. Please hit the like button and refrain from missing any of our content. Now, the conversation that I'm having today, she has been an educator for over 30 years. She has a master's degree in education along with years of professional mentorship and teaching as an athletic director, an entrepreneur who started multiple businesses and has had a significant influence on the lives of so many parents, teachers, and students who probably first saw her in Chicago, who now resides all over the world. A beloved educator, mother, and friend to many, a PSM legend, ladies and gentlemen, Teresa TC Cutler. How's it going?
Oh, it's great, Cam.
Good?
How are you?
Pretty good.
So happy to be here.
Yeah. I know. You know what? I don't want to be too casual because I've known you for such a long time, and I want to give you your respective flowers because you've done an amazing job with so many people that I know and love and who respect you and love you the same. So,
oh, well, thank you.
You know, I also want to give you a little gift. Okay, this is for you. This wasn't just sitting here for decoration. No, this is.
Oh, I thought it was decoration.
Nope. That's yours. You know, feel free to open it when you get home.
Okay.
I have some
right
solid things in there for you. I appreciate it.
Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I want to start the interview off by asking you, number one, we spoke about this a little bit when we were at dinner, but I want to ask you, how did you grow up? And I know that, you know, it was in Oak Park, but how did you grow up? Were you in a 2-parent household? Did you, enjoy being with your family? What was your upbringing and how was that dynamic?
The dynamic, I am the youngest of 6.
Okay.
Grew up in a 2-parent household, and I would say I had an amazing childhood. I was the kind of kid that we could open the door in the morning, go out, and we came home when the bell rang for dinner, and we just played with all the kids on the block or went to the pool or went to the ice skating rink or just hung out with the neighbors. And we didn't have to worry. We could just roam around, and everybody's house on the block was, our house, and all the parents looked out for all the kids, so it was great.
So it was Oak Park.
Right.
How was Oak Park then versus now? Was it any different?
I don't think so. I haven't been in Oak Park for about, 15 years or so. But when I left, it was the same, and I still have a lot of friends there, and I still go there a lot, and I feel like it's the same as it ever was. So
yeah.
I know there are a lot more buildings downtown and stuff
right.
like that, but no, it's great.
Where did you attend elementary school?
I actually went to St. Edmunds, right down the street from where we had dinner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. High school?
Oak Park River Forest.
OPRF.
Mm-hmm.
How was your high school experience?
It was great. I played a lot of sports, so I had a lot of friends, but it was just so big. Oak Park is just so big, and the one thing about Oak Park is like, going back there later thinking no one could ever feel out of place at Oak Park because they had every type of personality, and they have a lot to offer, and I don't know, I had good fun. I always have good fun wherever I go, so I enjoyed it.
Pretty diverse. Did you have anything? For me, high school wasn't the most glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
So Was high school pretty much smooth for you? Did you ever feel like, hey, you know what, OPRF, I really don't want to be here right now?
No, I grew up in I'm the youngest of six, and all my brothers and sisters are really smart and did all their thing. I wasn't going to be the one. So, no, I never thought of it as an option to say, no, I didn't want to go. No, I had a good time.
How was that growing up with 6 brothers and sisters?
I don't know. It was great fun. And we're still all very close, so.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't get too crowded in the house? Or?
No, we had a house. It was my mom and my dad and my grandma lived with us. So.
Okay.
We had plenty of room. Although I shared, room with we each 3 bedrooms, 2 boys in one, 2 girls in one, 2 girls in another. And so,
Okay.
it was great.
Yeah. So you graduated from OPRF.
Right.
What college did you attend?
I went to St. Mary's College in Winona, Minnesota.
Okay.
Loved every second of being there.
What made you go to Minnesota?
My sister went there, and I went up to visit one weekend, and I had a good time. So, and it was right on the Mississippi River. It was beautiful up in the bluffs. It was beautiful.
I mean, it can't beat a good time.
Well, I just like the setting. That's what really captured it for me. Yeah.
You stayed 4 years.
4 years there.
Undergrad, and
then my senior year, I went over to England for like a semester abroad kind of a thing.
How was that?
It was fun. And plus, going to say, I went with my best friend from high school because she didn't want to leave her boyfriend, but her mom made her. So she's like, I might as well just go where you're going. So she went with me and made a good time.
Okay.
So then I went over to England and for a semester, didn't want to go there because I was having so much fun in Winona. And then I didn't want to leave there. So, it was good.
Yeah. Huh. What are some valuable experiences that you encountered? I know that we haven't spoken about the master's degree, but taking us from undergrad and then also the master's degree, combining it. What are some valuable experiences you learned during your college journey?
During college? So getting my master's, the reason after I got out of college, I started teaching in like the local grade school. And I thought, okay, I'll teach junior high. And then I figured out quickly that junior high was not my thing. Mm. So then I was married. I had a baby. No, not yet. Well, I did. But I just figured if I keep teaching junior high, someone's going to end up at a window. So I figured out what did I want to do? I said I really like the kids. I like talking to the kids, but teaching them, they just weren't attentive enough. So that's when I went and got my master's in counseling. So I got my master's in counseling, over 3 or 4 years while my kids were little, and I stayed home with them and did daycare. And then when my youngest was in kindergarten, I went and got a full-time job.
What made you get your master's in counseling?
Because I like being with kids and I like talking to kids, but I didn't want to do all that work. And then I did remember in high school, I went in to see my counselor, and he's sitting there with his little feet up on the desk. I was like, oh, this is a good gig.
Right.
So that's why, because I enjoy being with the kids and talking to kids, but having to discipline them in the classroom gets a little irritating.
Before you stepped into the classroom, I say this all the time. I have not always wanted to be an educator. Have you always wanted to be an educator? What did you want to do before you stepped inside the classroom?
Well, my mom was a teacher, so I just kind of was like, I'm going to be a teacher. I don't know, and I don't know. I never really thought of anything else. So,
wow.
I don't know. Yeah. And now I'm thinking of other things.
Right. You asked me, you said, hey, photography, what's that about? And then you say, hey, I'm not sure about that. Let's talk about the business that you started. So pretty much the what, where, who, why, how, the first.
Well, my first business was probably daycare, and that was just because I wanted to stay home with my kids and I needed to make some money.
Mm-hmm.
So I just did in-home daycare, and that worked out for about 10 years. And then
You had 10 years, and how many kids did you have? Did it like grow into like the double digits when you
I
had the daycare?
probably had around like a total of 12. Like at one time, I probably had 10 kids at the kitchen table or something.
Yeah. 10 kids at the kitchen table. I mean,
They were little.
yeah, I can't do it. You know what? For me, just third or fourth grade, that's my sweet spot, because they're impressionable. You get up into high school, they think they know everything. They bigger than me. It's too much pressure. Just way too much.
I don't know, those little ones, though, they're always hugging you. And
Yeah, you got to tie the
and
shoes.
they love you. I love that.
You really? Oh.
Yeah, I got middle school. It's just like, you again?
Yeah. So daycare. So did you partner with anybody else when
No.
you did? No.
And daycare, I just did it out of my house, and
Okay.
they were
What?
hanging on the block, and
Yeah.
so
What made you hang that up?
I needed a full-time job I had 3 kids. My husband works for himself, so I needed somewhere that was going to give benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I went and got my master's in counseling, because I figured I'm not going to go back to teaching in a classroom. But I did want to, be in the school system, work with kids. So then I went and got my master's in counseling, and then got the job at Providence St. Mel, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. Before we jump to PSM, you started the second business.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how did you start that? Because a lot of people, including myself, aren't really privy to starting businesses and not really accustomed to them also working out. I have a lot of stories. Photography was great because because I loved it and I didn't care how much I got paid from it. How did you start that business, and how was the experience, and why did you hang that up?
Well, I guess I started that business not as, it's going to support my life, but
What
more
was
as
it, by
a
the way?
hobby. So my neighbor and I, we would always go to garage sales or garbage pick things, and we had all these things, and we said we can't do this anymore because we don't have any more room to put the things. And so we had this grand plan that when we're older, like I am now, that we would open a shop and have a shop, and then next couple of weeks, she called and said, "Oh, I found a spot." And so, like 3 of us got together, my other sister and my neighbor, and we, I have to give it to her. She did all the legwork. And then we just went and fixed up the shop and put our stuff in there, and then we would just rotate, taking turns in there selling things, which I learned a lot about selling there, that, if people would come in and I liked them, I'd give them a good deal. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't. And it's just all the way people would treat you that matters. And everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, I had that business, and while I was still doing daycare and going to school to get my master's. So then when I finished getting my master's, then, time was up. I had to go get a job that had benefits.
What are your thoughts on tradition? PSM holds a lot of tradition. They hang their hat on tradition, and I believe that it has grown accustomed in other schools as well. When we talk about uniform, when we talk about how you're supposed to present yourself, when that the handbook tradition, colors tradition. What are your thoughts on tradition, and do you believe that it's positive when it comes to school climate and culture? Do you think that tradition is a positive?
I do think tradition is a positive thing, and as much as when I first got to Providence St. Mel, I was like, okay with the rules. Jeez.
Yeah.
It just, too many rules. And then I remember Jeanette saying, well, maybe it's not the place for you. I was like, maybe you're right. But then I just loved the students, and I had such a great time with them. And then as years go on, I see, like you, the product. I was like, well, maybe there's something to all this, that it does work. Because honestly, I've worked with a lot of students from public schools too that didn't have that discipline. And of all the alumni I talked to, they say discipline really helped. They hated it when they were there, but the discipline really helped. So,
Yeah.
I couldn't argue with the outcome.
Yeah,
So
a lot.
I go with it.
I was speaking with one of I think it was I forget who I was speaking with, but they said when they got to college, I said, "Hey, does PSM prepare you for college?" They said, "Oh yeah, they prepare you for college. Like that first year, you're ready for whatever work is thrown at you, and it's almost smooth." So
That's what I keep hearing from the students who come back. So, it works.
yeah.
Yeah.
Graduation season is approaching. New graduates who are entering the world, they come out of high school, even college, they enter the real world. What's some advice that you have for them?
Get out there and make connections, because connections are important. And watch the way you present yourself wherever you are, because especially in this world now, you're on video every minute.
Yeah.
And anything you put out on social media is there for everyone to see. So I would say get out, make connections, meet as many people as you can, do as many different things as you can, because you never know who you're going to meet that is going to help you to the next level.
Yeah. Do you believe people would need, or do you believe people have to go to college to be successful?
I don't think they have to, but I also think it's never going to hurt, and it can only open up more doors for you, or, it's never going to hurt. But do I think it's absolutely necessary? No, I don't. I might have to edit that one out if I want to keep a job. But
right.
No, but I do think, and I think especially at Providence St. Mel, we have, they do such a good job of getting money for kids to go to school. They might as well take advantage of it while they can get that free money. The other thing is I see too many kids just going to colleges where, well, I want to go to that college. I encourage them not to come out of college with that. Go where the money is, get the paper, and keep it moving.
I'm knee deep in 100,000 right now.
Yeah.
I got 100,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Trying to, do the best that I can with that. But no, you're right. I tell people immediately, as soon as you go to college, you open yourself up to more people, to networking, to understanding how to introduce yourself, keep eye contact, what does presentation mean, all that stuff, and you get out of what you've been grown accustomed to.
Yeah, but they have to take advantage of all the opportunities that the college campuses offer. Join things, be in things, do things, meet people. So I see too much time spent on gaming and social media, and kind of concerning to me.
Yeah.
Big time concern.
Switching gears a little bit, you've been at Providence St. Mel for nearly
28 years.
28 years, nearly 3 decades. What's kept you grounded and inspired all these years?
The students. I'm totally come back because of the students.
Mm.
And I would say that, I'll give a plug to the class of 99. They started it all for me. Yeah.
Yeah. What was so special about that class?
They were fun. Although they were the first class when I went in there, I thought, oh, these kids are going to kill me, because all their favorite teachers had left and gotten fired or some big commotion. So I was like, oh. So I just, I was like, what are you mad at me for? I don't even know you. So
right.
Then we got to get along well, and they were fun. They were a lot of fun. Yeah. They still are a lot of fun.
Yeah. PSM just has, loads of history. Every time I come there, I feel good. I'm comfortable. I'm extremely familiar. So, for sure. What's a moment at the school at PSM that sort of still gives you goosebumps? Like, man, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Well, I would say retreat. Retreat is, we do it every year, and it's just one of those really special times to be with the students. And I would say that is just, it's not just one retreat, but all retreats.
Yeah.
That's a special time.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I believe that it helps so many people, at least within that moment for me. I've seen a lot of classmates come out of that with a new perspective. You know, they have you have a chain. Like I forget the make of the chain.
The little cross.
Yeah, the little cross. Yeah. So those are great moments. The parents write you letters like your mom and dad, and you read them. A lot of people tear up. You know.
Oh yeah.
Students.
Oh my God, I tear up because we have to read them to the students.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
We can get
man.
yeah.
Yeah, get a little crazy. So speaking of individuals making significant impacts, what individual has made the most impact on your life, and why?
I know you sent me that question. I had to think about it. I guess my mom probably, because had she been a lawyer, I probably would have been a lawyer. You know, I don't know. There have been a lot of different people that have had impact on my life, but I suppose I'd go with her.
Start at home base.
Mm-hmm.
So your mom, she has had a significant influence and impact on your life, so much so that if she was a lawyer, you would have been a lawyer.
I mean, I guess I just was going with what I saw, which is what the whole thing with education is, you know, and in schools, you want children to see what they can be. Well, that's, you know, and my mom was a good person, so I thought, no, she seemed to enjoy it. You know,
yeah. you dove right in.
Know.
You've been at Providence St. Mel for nearly 3 decades. From your perspective, you know, I'm coming into this building. These are students, predominantly Black and brown students, and I'm coming in. They don't know who I am. Obviously, I'm not from their community. What's your perspective on that, and how do you believe you were perceived throughout this time?
Well, I guess, I mean, I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, so it wasn't like I was used to that either.
Yeah.
So I went in and I told you when I got in there, they had just lost all their favorite teachers and they didn't really know that it was going to happen until they got there. So I didn't know what to expect because it was different for me too to be in a Black community. But then I quickly realized that kids are, because I had taught for 6 years before that or something like that. And kids are kids wherever. It just really doesn't matter what color their skin are. Everybody's different, but it's not because their skin's a different color. So, I just enjoyed them.
Are there any students that stick out to you right now that you say, hey, you know what, that kid was magical, or, you know, I really enjoy being around that student?
Oh, you know, I'm not going to answer that. Because there are so many. There's so many. I don't even want to name one because there are so many that I would not want to leave anyone out. But yeah, there are quite a few. Like I said, that class of 99 really had some characters.
Yeah.
So it was a good time. And so, yeah.
Helping someone and guiding others, being a navigation, a GPS for other people going through things. Can you reflect on moments when you've been that for someone, and, you know, how did that make you feel?
Well, I think one of my favorite things I have hanging in my office is this boy wrote a little poem, said, God is great, God is good, thanks for taking me out of the hood.
Yo.
So I think that, and he actually went to Marshall High School, but I don't know, just, you know, seeing students graduate and do well and succeed. There's so many, again. And even like students who weren't like top of the class or whatever. Yeah, those are the students.
You got one right here.
Yeah, those are the students seeing you do so well. It's like, okay, it works. It works.
Yeah.
Teaching and being with kids. I just enjoy students because they always have some fresh perspective on something and they don't usually hold back on their thoughts. So,
yeah. Let's talk about AI. You brought a part of it up, I feel like, with the access to social media, the access to, hey, you can ask something a question and it spit out. You know, we were talking about lesson plans. So I say, hey, you know, Magic School AI, it can, you know, help you out as a teacher. What are your thoughts on artificial intelligence?
I'm just afraid, you know, that people won't actually learn anything. They'll just use it to get the answers, and they won't actually delve into the topic or the understanding. But it's kind of sweet to get all that information, and I do need to take advantage of that lesson planning thing you were talking about. So I don't know. I'm mixed. I do think it's going to take over jobs. I think it's going to. I don't know. I'm not keen on it. Let's put it that way.
Do students use have you caught students using AI?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the best is when they try to deny it, because you can just pull up the AI checker thing, right?
Yes.
So, yes, I have. But we also are trying to implement proper use of AI in the classroom. So that's part of our curriculum to have students use AI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that it can possibly be a slippery slope, especially if it's used to take place of originality, you know, in students' work. So
Yes.
Mr. English was, I mean, he was a stickler. And I think that making sure that students I think that having a different perspective on students' work today versus how it was just for me inside of the classroom, there was no AI. If I wrote outside of the lines when it came to just writing paper, I would be docked off,
Right.
you know, grammatical errors. And you have AI right now that can handle a lot of that, especially if you're being able to type versus write. What's one thing you believe you manifested, and how do you believe you did that?
I say where I live right now, because I always wanted to live on the water and have on the beach. So where I live right now is on the water, and we have our own beach. So I don't know if that's manifesting it or just wanting it and finding it and figuring it out.
I mean, that's definitely manifesting. That's definitely manifesting on the beach, huh? Can you swim?
Can I swim?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you swim?
I can swim.
Yeah, I can't swim, so I don't know. I mean, I would enjoy the view.
No, you could go in the water up to.
Yeah, I mean, I could put my feet in, but I can't jump in at like my whole body. I can't do it.
I'm not swimming out to the grip or anything. I just.
For, you know, a little bit. I mean, it's beautiful.
You'll have to come down to the beach, and you'll go in, and you'll like it. Yeah.
See, I got an invitation. Great.
You got the invitation.
Great. Wow. So, see how I really want to reframe, how I really want to reform this question. Mental health clarity, and being able to understand who you are in and outside of the classroom. Some moments I believe that it's looked over. In other moments, there's a gratitude towards people, teachers and students, being aware of their mental health. What do you resort to? You mentioned the house that you have, and it's, you know, on the beach, water. What are some things that you go to gain mental clarity, or try to give yourself a break from teaching, from students, from life?
I go on a lot of walks, and I collect beach glass and anything interesting that I find on the beach.
Mm.
And just really going for walks and looking for things and looking at people.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the mental health thing, I mean, right now I'm teaching an SEL class, social emotional learning. And I think sometimes kids get the impression that they should always be happy. And I think they need to learn that you're not always going to be happy. And you have to go through some tough times, and that's okay. But I think too much focus is for them like, well, I'm not happy, and you can't talk to me like that, and why do you think you can tell me to get up and move? Okay. Because that's the way it goes. I don't know. I mean, I think they need to be aware of their mental health, but I also think they exercise and nutrition and all that play a big role, in being on social media and playing games is not good for their mental health.
Yeah, and I had to learn quickly also that everything isn't going to go your way.
No.
And you're going to be unhappy when they don't. So, I mean, that's absolutely.
Yeah, but if you look at Michael Jordan, as you were talking about earlier, I mean, how many times does he fail? How many times do all these people who, Roy McIlroy, who just won the Masters, how many times did he have to lose? And, how many people say, who was I just listened to? Kobe saying, there's no such thing as winning or losing. It's you're learning from everything that happens. You learn. You learn from when you lose. You learn from when you win. It's just all learning. So if you look at it like that, you're going to be better off.
I think that a lot of students have I know that I did, right? You're just looking at what's in front of you. Man, I got 6 a.m. practice. I got to do this. I got to do that. They're expecting me to keep up these rules. And, my community isn't the best community. I don't have the best structure, stability. I'm just upset that things aren't going my way. And, students like that probably feel it the most because of their circumstances. And it's hardest to hear when someone is saying, hey, you need to do what you need to do anyway.
Well, I had a student come in and say, I got cut or something terrible happened. And I said, well, unfortunately for you, you need to do your math homework more than anyone else in that classroom because you have to get out. And this is your ticket out. So, yeah, I agree. Your life is horrible right now. But you have to do what you have to do to get out. And that's the best way is education, really. Yeah,
yeah. And education to me is, I talk about this all the time with a lot of students who grew up and are prominent athletes to me. I'm a scrub right now. I'm a scrub, but, still a YMCA legend. Don't get me wrong.
There you go.
There you go. My own. But for me, education is extremely important no matter how much money you have in the bank, because I've seen people with millions, throw it away because they were not educated. And it's not being the smartest person in the room. It's not being ignorant to what you should know. So it's extremely important. Extremely important.
But that's where I think the discipline comes in too at Providence St. Mel, that it really makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Students that you see inside of the classroom or inside of the gym or, outside, when are they the most engaged, in your opinion? When they're in the classroom, when are they the most engaged? When they're, in their team activities, when do they seem as though they're the most engaged? I know that you taught PE for a while as well, I think.
Oh, yeah, I still do. I think they're the most engaged when they're enjoying what they do, but I also think they enjoy what they do when they see whoever is teaching them enjoys what they're doing. I think it's easier to get excited about something if the person who is teaching you it is excited about it and interested in it.
Is relationship building a necessity in hopes of acquiring academic results from students?
Yes. Yeah. I think and the relationship, I just think you have to be genuine. You have to be yourself. And I also think you have to be honest with kids, because kids are so much smarter than people give them credit for. And they know what's going on and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to be honest with them and call them on stuff. And I think sometimes they appreciate it.
Yeah. And they're always watching what you're doing, and, they can kind of sense, hey, is this guy prepared to teach me or not? Or, do they actually care about me? So, and I think that caring for someone genuinely goes a long way.
Well, I think caring for them, but I think that's where they get tripped up with the discipline and the whole thing that, but I thought you liked me. Why wouldn't you let me?
Right.
Yeah, I do like you. That's why you have to follow the rules.
Right. Sullivan was on me, man. I got, that guy, supper club. That's what it was called. I didn't like it. I can't get around not saying that. I didn't like it. It was the basement. It was dark. It was the weekend. Well, who created that? Who created that at Providence St. Mel Supper Club? If I didn't do my homework,
Dean did. Sullivan.
See, there we go. It's on him.
And he named it Supper Club because kind of to trick you, because I've had students go down and they're like, Supper Club? We're doing homework.
Right.
They thought it'd be fun.
I remember this guy, Tracy. That was my guy back in the day. We go to Supper Club, and I'm thinking that we're gonna be done. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be great. So I don't have a book bag with me. I just have like a couple of books, and the homework that I needed to do. I was thinking, I'm just gonna do it at home. Now I'm not sure how much time I had in Supper Club. Maybe I don't even remember. I just know Supper Club. It was dark, dingy. I'm not sure if they had.
It was Fridays.
It was Fridays.
It was on Friday
right.
after. Yeah.
Yeah. So Friday, I want to get out of there. Tracy has a gym bag with him, like a gym bag that is huge. I said, "Yo, Tracy, why you got that big gym bag?" He said, Mr. Sutherland told me bring all my books. I said, bring all your books? What do you mean, bring all of them? Like, is this just a 30-minute deal? He comes, and Mr. Sutherland, he had it out. He had it out with me. Tracy jumping in that bag, grabbing those books. I'm like, man, this is something new, and I never wanted to make it seem like I didn't care. There was a point where I didn't care, but there was a point where I didn't want other people to believe that. And that's something that really stuck with me, going in the Supper Club, going to detention, seeing people see me. I didn't like the feeling. So, oh man. Switching gears, your younger self, let's say, going into undergrad, what would you tell that person if you knew what you knew today?
I would tell that person to explore more opportunities that were available to them, and maybe pursue some things that, like, out of the box, do things that you weren't really comfortable with. I don't know. I don't really have any regrets or anything. So,
I mean,
I don't know. I would tell that person just to enjoy life, be nice.
So it all
make friends.
It all panned out how you wanted it to pan.
I didn't really ever sit around thinking about that. I didn't really have a plan. I'm not that big of a planner, but I just kind of always knew I'd get married, I'd have kids, I'd be a teacher.
PSM legend.
I mean, I didn't. But then I wanted to enjoy it. So that whole part where I was teaching middle school, that was a lesson. I didn't enjoy it. So, but I did enjoy the kids. And then I enjoyed coaching. So I had a great time with that. And,
Wow.
So I just, I mean, there have been a few times I'm going to leave St. Mel, but I was like, I don't know. I have a good time.
Yeah.
I have a good time with the kids.
Yeah.
So.
What's more valuable to you, inspiration or discipline?
Dang. Inspiration, I suppose. Because if I'm inspired to do something, I'm going to have the discipline to get it done. I don't know what discipline does on its own.
Some people say, hey, well, you know what? Even if I don't like it, if I'm not inspired to do it, I'm going to do it every single day because it needs to get done. And
yeah, but are you doing it? Why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Right? So, I mean, why would they do something every day they didn't want to do if it's not going to benefit them in some way?
What's one or maybe a couple of things, if you have them, that your PSM students taught you, or your students before that even, that you still carry today?
I would say the manifestation thing, like just putting it out there that this is going to happen, and it happens because I've seen it happen. I was like, well, maybe there's something to it. Try it. Just laughter and not taking everything so seriously, and just their sense of humor. I just enjoying life, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Luke, we're gonna put those pictures up in a second here. After this question, what does legacy mean to you? I really want to hear this because you have talked about some insightful things, and I really I really have been enjoying your viewpoint. What does legacy mean to you, and how do you hope to be remembered by the Providence St. Mail family?
Well, I just hope that to be remembered that, I enjoyed my time with them. Hope I learned from them and they learned from me. Legacy, really, I don't know if you remember basketball, little Harry Brooks, who was the little guy who did the clock at our games. Anyway.
I don't remember that guy.
You don't remember him? He was a character, but when he died, I went to his funeral, and the preacher man said, "How many of you know your great grandmothers or your great great grandmothers? No one's going to remember you in like more than 2 generations." I was like, "Dang, that's harsh."
Right.
So, my legacy, I mean, as legacy, how long is that going to last? I don't know. I want to make an impact on the people who are here right now. And I hope they have some good, fun memories.
Yeah.
It's legacy. I don't even know what do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, when people speak on legacy, they say, okay, well, you know what? Essentially, how do I want to be remembered? But I think this is where social media also sort of directs people, because there's this big consumption on how does everyone see me? How does everyone view me? How will they view me? And I need to outdo this person, be greater than this person, and be remembered more.
Yeah, I've never really cared about that. I mean, it's not that I don't want people to say nice things or do things, but I've never gone like, oh, what can I do so that person will like me? Just, if they like me, great. It's meant to be. If they don't, keep it moving.
Yeah. All right. We're going to do a PSM history section. So here's what's going to happen. Photos will appear here. All right. And we will discuss them.
Okay.
So Luke is going to put up the first one, and we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
First picture right here. Providence St. Mail, the Hard Work High School. What is this picture? What does it scream to you?
It's screaming that there are some kids there who are working hard, but since I look at this thing every day when I get on the elevator, I know exactly where it's coming from. So it's
Paul Adams.
Paul Adams. He doesn't play.
He said, as long as my students got books and they got heat in the wintertime, we can learn. That's what he told me one day when I went to his office.
Yeah.
And, so I said, okay. Wow.
Yeah, he doesn't mince words, and he doesn't spend a lot of time talking about it. He just does things, gets it done. But this is the group where, when the Catholic Church wanted to close down Providence St. Mel, this is the ad they put in the Wall Street Journal, and then got people to donate to keep the school open. And
wow.
So, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is the first group where, you always saw the headline that said, someone's just saying that, the Catholic Church, they're just closing us without our, nobody even asked him. He said, you're not even going to discuss this with me? and the cardinal was like, no. And so it made him mad that they were just going to shut down the school without even consulting him. So
yeah, Adams, he's a hard head, lunch pail type of guy. I remember we were in his office and he said, hey, Kimbro, this is what I do. You guys, you have, production as a student. I go to my people, my investors. I say, hey, this is what I'm doing for the community. Can you help us? So he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't mince words, and he's a great guy in my book.
Well, yeah. The things, I think that's one thing students don't understand too, is that Providence St. Mel relies on, people to give money to the school to keep it going. And so success matters.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Next photo. You got this one. Now, this is a moment where Paul Adams. Now, I don't remember this time period. I don't think I.
No, this was way before us.
Yeah, yeah.
Ronald Reagan. That's President Reagan.
Wow.
Came to school, but he came there twice. That I think was. I don't know what year that was, but I should know because that's also. I was not there.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm about to say. All
No.
right. Okay.
No.
Interesting. Okay. Next photo.
Oh.
Tell me about this one. Now earlier in the interview, that guy with the beer in his hand, that's Mr. Sullivan. All right. That's
right.
Dean Sullivan. All right. McGrath. He used to say, Hey, Kimbrough, you don't do anything in this classroom. I said, listen, man, I'm trying to get through. Dominique, we couldn't stop laughing. I don't know what it is. He said, you guys used to laugh all the time. And there's what were you guys here?
We were at Fitzgerald's in Berwyn. Do you know Fitzgerald's night? It's a music club. It was my brother-in-law's, and they have an annual music festival. And so Kevin and Dean and I always would meet up at the music festival.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It's fun. It's a great festival.
Yeah.
They have it every year. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to show my face.
Yeah, actually, my brother-in-law sold it like 2 days before COVID hit.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Next photo.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about this one.
So this is my little beach. And do you know these people?
They look a little familiar,
Richard Covington.
Oh yeah.
Richard.
Yeah.
All right. So then I'll just the same. Khalil, small.
Mm-hmm.
T.A.
Yeah.
And Tevin King.
And
this is EP.
EP.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell you, Khalil. We used to have some great moments in high school basketball. He'll probably destroy me now. I'm pretty sure. T.A. was great, one of the phenomenal passers I've seen in a while. TK. Now, Tevin, we had our battles in practice as well. I remember I was guarding him. I stole the ball from him. Right now, I found him maybe a little bit, but he's a tough kid. He's bigger than me. He can handle it. I'm going down. Going down for a layup. So I go up. Now, of course, I'm a left. Left. I go up. Now, when I had the basketball, I was taught, okay, you know what? If you go up with your hand on top of the ball as in a layup, it'll be harder for the defender to block it. So I go up. I see some guy above me just, come down and glass. He glassed it. And he was a freshman when this happened.
Yeah, he hated he never wanted to be a Providence Mall. I had to go. That was one of my fun stories where, because I would pick him up, I'd drive him to school. I made sure he went to school. And he wasn't at school one day, and I called him. I'm like, where are you? So I'm at the barber shop. I said, where is it? So I went in. It was in K-Town, and I went in. I was white woman out of control.
In the hood? You went to grab, you picked him, grabbed him?
I went into the, and I looked at the man. I said, what are you doing cutting this boy's hair? He should be in school. I was like, take him. And TK was like, let's go. I embarrassed the mess out of him.
Oh, man. That's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. No, he was, he's like my son. So he calls me mom. He's my son.
Yeah, TK should know. TK, bro.
When he graduated from college, so he went to South Dakota. And my husband and I drove up there, and we went he got his diploma, and he just walked right out the door. So it's good.
Oh, man.
But it's nice to see Khalil, TA, and TK are like brothers. They're
yeah. Still, yeah. Rich, Coach Rich. He I can't say anything bad about him because he loved me. He really did. One of my favorite coaches for sure.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And he's still, still see Rich. And he worked for my husband. And so my husband's a painter, hired Richard, because I would kind of filter people to say he'd be a good worker. And Richard was one of them. And now Richard has his own painting. He is living the dream.
Really? He's always traveling. I'm
always traveling.
Like, he's always, I'm like, but he did say that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I remember I went to his house. Me and other players, we went and helped him like move a few things. And he was always great.
He's funny. I mean, he was a 99er.
Yeah,
Plus
yeah.
99, yeah.
Prior as well, helped me out, get from here, get from point A to point B.
He's just an all around good guy. EP.
Yeah, nice beach. Okay, next photo.
Oh, that was his graduation.
Oh, okay.
TK's graduation from South Dakota.
Bro, TK, you trying to go in and get fresh on the school day, bro? You, he was just like,
well, he was. I mean, I was hot, man.
Yeah, you was hot. You was hot.
I mean, I had to drag him out of bed before, but not the barber shop. I was mad at the barber.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did he at least leave with a clean fade? Did he leave lined up, or you just snatched him out of the chair?
I don't even remember. I was unhappy.
Yeah. All right, next photo.
Oh, Miss Stevenson?
Miss Stevenson.
Yeah.
I remember.
She is PSM, tried and true, bleeding purple and gold. She's great. She teaches kindergarten now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. All right, next photo.
Oh, you know what? I love this photo because the equality jerseys, it was the MLK tournament at Marshall, and they gave them equality and I just think and that is a great group. I mean, those are the ones that won state, I think, are they?
That's that's Irvin's son there.
Yeah, TJ.
Yeah. Now those jerseys, they by Nike, those are cold. How come? See, y'all got all the good stuff when we left.
Because Marshall gave those uniforms.
Oh, really? Okay.
For that tournament.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
those are nice.
No, where are they now? I mean, I just saw them all at the.
Number one could jump out of the gym.
Dion, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is just an athlete. He's just an athlete.
Oh.
And then Jason Mason and Tyreal and Tayon. He comes up a little bit. Sometimes I see him. Sometimes he'll come up. He's still in school getting his degree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's I just like that picture a lot.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Next photo. What's going on?
Oh, that
here?
was me coaching volleyball.
Are you chewing
You can
someone
tell they're
out?
they're really paying attention.
Yeah.
You can tell. I'm sure I was just giving her constructive advice.
Man, it looked like you're chewing it out. It does look like look like that.
It does. I might have been. I might have, been trying to make a point. But look, we were playing during COVID, and they had to wear the masks.
Yeah. Oh, I did not like that.
No, I didn't like it either.
But protocol.
They lived through. But that one got a scholarship to Vanderbilt.
Really?
So yeah, she's good. Layla and Lauren, they were twins.
Jasmine Means was good too.
She's awesome. Love Jasmine.
Yeah. Wow. I loved volleyball.
Well, she didn't get a volleyball scholarship.
Yeah.
No, academic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love coming to the volleyball games at PSM.
Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
It was fun coaching.
Yeah. Next photo.
Oh, that's just my family.
Yeah.
That's the fam.
Out. You got your 2 daughters and son?
So yeah. Son, daughter, oldest, middle, youngest.
Okay. Who's your favorite?
Oh, another question I will never answer. Are you kidding me?
Okay. All right. Next photo.
Do you know Owen Pelzer? So he's the AD now, and that's his little daughter, Jo.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was a cute picture, and Owen's great. He works hard. And
I have to come.
Been at Providence St. Mel 11 years, and he's another one that loves the kids and loves being there. Yeah.
You guys are doing some great work. I have to come when there's an actual school day so I can meet people. Because there's a new crew there. I mean, you still got our core at PSM, but there's a new crew of people that I would love to meet.
Yeah, I just thought that was cute with his little daughter, little Jo.
Yeah. Next photo. Tell me about this one.
Just graduation picture. Nothing. But didn't you say something about Ashley? Didn't you ask me about Ashley Riley?
Yeah, I said she was like phenomenal at PSM. He was, I think it's Tom. It was Thomas, I believe.
He was a character.
Yeah.
But everyone. I mean, there's so many different personalities.
Yeah.
You just know there's something to learn from everybody.
Yeah. Man, next photo.
And this is one I just, these are ones I just picked out. I just like the picture. Look at little Khalil and
Yeah. Now this is at choir. I
guess so.
They got the choir shirts on.
I just thought it was a nice Dowdy.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Michael Dowdy. The next photo we have it's probably the most incredible PSM photo in history.
I can't.
Let's pull it up.
Let's see.
Let's see it.
Oh, no doubt.
What can I say?
No doubt, the most incredible.
These
picture.
guys are incredible. I mean, you got your backcourt. You got Alex. You got Keyshawn. He was beyond his time. And look what we're holding. Right.
Look what you're holding.
IHSA. It's beautiful. I mean, it's not the best quality. That's back in the day, but it's great. We were happy, man.
You were happy. It was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun. That's a good group. See, I mean, there's just never. I really can't say a year that was like, oh.
Yeah.
No, it's all great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Tori.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, like I said, of the product, everybody I see, even students who didn't want to be there and do anything, just the way they carry themselves, and I think it instills some confidence in people that they could even make it through, and even if they don't, they learn something along the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, so we're nearing the end here.
Mm-hmm.
7 phrases that go beyond the book. I always paint out what people are actually feeling and thinking when I propose one word, and whatever comes to your head, you can just go ahead and spit it out, and it'll be 7 of them. Okay. First one. Family.
What do I think? That's the most important thing. Importance, I guess, and not. It doesn't have to be family you're born to. It's just people who can be family.
Power.
Kind of the root of all evil. People feeling the need for power. Ego and power are scary to me.
The past.
The past is the past. Move on. Learn and move on.
The present.
Look for the possibilities.
The future.
Make it happen.
Education.
Instrumental. Am I supposed to be giving you one-word answers?
No, that's fine. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I never want to limit people. Hey, give me one word, or you can give me
okay.
a few sentences. That's fine. Last one. Life.
Enjoy it. It's too short to worry about. Don't stress.
Wow, this has been I knew this was going to be a great interview. Leading up to this interview, I said I want to make sure that she understands, how much I appreciate her, and do that first, and then hand you a gift, and
thank you.
be able to.
I can't wait.
Spend the best moments that we can while talking to each other, so that everyone will be able to view it and see the magic that not only you've helped other people inspire to, but also myself. I really appreciate you, and thank you again for being able to come in and do the interview. I appreciate it.
I'm able to come in, but the only reason I'm willing to come in is because, honestly, students like you being so successful and happy and doing great is really what keeps me at Providence St. Mel's. So I thank you for being the success. And like you said, it wasn't the easiest road for you, but look where it got you. So yeah, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Proud of you. Proud of you. Happy for you. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
We're going to end it there. Tune in for our next episode of Beyond the Book. I hope that you enjoyed this one. All right, Luke, go ahead. Go wrap it up.